Speedway motorcycling, a global sport, Australia gave to the rest of the world. With origins dating back to 1923, Speedway bike racing is now staged in 40 countries. Each year the world's best riders from a vast array of nations come down under for Speedway's toughest test. On Sports Australia, we welcome you to the world-famous Brisbane exhibition ground for International Speedway's Night of Nights. This is the grand final of the $1 million Series 500 International Speedway Masters.
Once again, a huge crowd has assembled in perfect weather conditions at the world-famous Brisbane Exhibition Speedway in Queensland. It's the grand final of the $1 million Series 500 International Speedway Masters. Electric atmosphere here at the world-famous Ekka. Hi, I'm David Tapp. Great to have your company wherever you might be watching, and welcome to this special one-hour motorsport presentation right here on Sports Australia. Well, over the last month or so on Checkered Flag, you've seen all the highlights of this great event, which started at Claremont Showground Speedway in Perth on the 3rd of January. Since that point in time, this travelling super troop of 16 riders has covered some 20,000 kilometres, crossing 5 Australian states. But of course, this is what it's all about, and currently we have 2 riders with a mathematical chance of winning the $1 million tournament. Let's have a look at the point score for you at the completion of 9 rounds.
And at the completion of 9 rounds, the point score is delicately poised. Lee Adams on 154, a narrow leader from Craig Boyce, the Sydney sider, on 146. Greg Hancock, the American, is next on 112, followed by Kelvin Tatum on 102. Then a big gap to Simon Wigg on 95, Thomas DePinck 92, Stephen Johnston 88, Mark Lemon from Mildura in Victoria on 82, Andy Smith 65, then Shane Parker, Peter Swiss from Poland, Jon Jorgensen the Dane, Craig Watson, Chris Manchester and Yuri Stansel.
Well, really, things couldn't be tighter heading into tonight's 10th and final round of the Brisbane Exhibition Ground. A short time ago, our pit reporter for tonight's program, Jimmy Schoen, caught up with the big guns in this tournament, Lee Adams and Craig Boyce.
Craig Boyce, defending Series 500 Car Care Products champion. Craig, how's it been for you so far this year?
Yeah, it's been very good. I've been really enjoyed my series. The bike's been running fine most of the series. Steve Langdon's doing the engine tuning on the bikes, and Skilled Engineering as main sponsor have enabled me to get the competitive equipment as I have in the last 3 years. And I would like to be in front at the moment. I'm 8 points behind Lee Adams, and it's going to be a tough night tonight. But fingers crossed, we're here to win.
Okay, on the 28th of December, you won your 3rd Australian solo title here. Favourite track?
Not particularly. It's always been a bit of a voodoo track. I turned the tables around, I guess, and won the Australian final, which I was very pleased about. And hopefully I can perform the same tonight.
Lee, currently leading the points by 8 points going into this final round. Are you feeling a bit of pressure with Craig Boyce, the Australian champion, behind you?
It's going to be a tough meeting, yeah, definitely. But I just want to take it as I've taken all the others, and you know, they've run pretty smoothly. I think if I can get through to the A final, and obviously I've still got to finish in front of Craig. You know, I'll be very confident. But it's a tough series, and it's very tough to get through to the A final. So come and ask me after 5 heats, and I'll tell you then.
Have you got a setup that you use here at the Ekka?
Not really. I've got a bike that's going very good. Both my bikes are going very good. Got 2 different combinations, so we'll just have to see what happens with the track after the first heat, and we'll go from there.
Quick comment on the preparation of the surface?
It looks a lot better. You know, we're here in the Australian titles, and it was pretty poor. You know, the surface was pretty rough, but it looks pretty smooth. I think there should be some good racing.
Okay, have a good night, Lee. Thanks very much.
Thanks, mate.
Lee Adams with Jimmy Schoen in the pits. A very big crowd here at the Brisbane Exhibition Ground. Well over 10,000 people. The riders now assemble for the Australian National Anthem. Incredible atmosphere here at the Brisbane Exhibition Ground. The fireworks explode above the venue. Monster crowd in the atmosphere here, very special. First heat comes your way, a 4-lap journey. Brent Collier, that's him now on screen, the wild card from here in Brisbane. Peter Swiss from Poland lines up in the blue helmet colour, and Andy Smith from England. Lee Adams, the current series leader, aboard the Series 500 Jawa on the extreme outside. When the tapes flew, Lee Adams got an electrifying start. He heads down the back straight, already a clear-cut leader, and the horsepower of this machine really does seem to be dialed in here tonight. The racetrack just a little on the slick side. The dirt will start to be thrown up towards the fence later on, and undoubtedly that will provide plenty of outside passing opportunities. You're now looking at the battle further back in the pack. Brent Collier, the young Queenslander, finds himself under siege from Peter Swiss. That is Andy Smith, the British rider, the 3 times British champion. He's got his hands full, though, as he chases that man, the brilliant Victorian Lee Adams, who's won 4 of the 9 rounds completed in this $1 million series so far. He cruises down the back straight, Lee Adams, a very comfortable leader. He's pitched a very big break on them, and he hasn't got too far to go now in front of this big crowd in this opening heat of the night. The yellow flag now on display. There's one lap of this Brisbane exhibition ground to run, 400 metres or 4 left-hand corners to negotiate, and the Series 500 Car Care Products Jawa of Lee Adams is certainly going to take this opening victory, and that's going to award Lee Adams 3 valuable qualifying points. He takes it, pulling up on the line. The British rider Andy Smith finishes in second, ahead of Brent Collier back in third. Big ride by Lee Adams.
Good way to start.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I had a pretty good gate position 4. You know, there was a lot of grip there, and the bike's flying. You know, come off there really well. So I'm happy.
Okay, how's gearing for first time out and your tyre pressures?
Pretty good. I was about right. You know, just got to keep an eye on the track. It might get a little bit more grippy. We'll just have to see what happens through the night.
Now in this second heat, also a 4-lap journey, one of the series big guns. There he is, Craig Boyce, on the skilled engineering Jawa. He's Lee Adams' biggest danger here tonight for outright victory. That's Shane Parker from South Australia, now on centre screen. Yuri Stansel from the Czech Republic starts on the inside in the red helmet colour, and on the extreme outside is Sydney's Craig Watson. When the tapes flew, Craig Boyce was going forward. The reigning Australian and defending Masters Series champion takes the race lead, and the acceleration of this motorcycle, he has careered away. Through the top couple of corners they run the first time round, and Craig Boyce is opening up a very big lead on his nearest rival, and his nearest rival is Yuri Stansel from the Czech Republic, and he has to contend with terminal boredom in this one. He's riding around on his own. Whilst all of that's going on, Shane Parker and Craig Watson are having a battle royal further back. In fact, right at the back of the pack in this one. Boyce reels off another lap. He thunders up the main straight of the Brisbane exhibition ground, and he's a very comfortable leader in this one. Very important from a psychological point of view to open your account with a big win. It doesn't matter what meeting it might be, let alone this one, the biggest speedway event in Australia, the grand final of the Series 500 Masters. It's the yellow flag on display, and Craig Boyce is going to enjoy that confidence booster that I was just referring to. He cruises down the back straight. He's going to do this one in a bigger margin than we saw Lee Adams in the previous heat. Boyce off turn number 4 for the final time. The checkered flag is ready. It greets Craig Boyce. Second of the checkered flag was Stansel. Third, Shane Parker. Race time 68.16.
Craig, good start to the night for you also. I noticed first time round out of turn 2 you had the front wheel in the air. Second time the bike was a little loose, you had a wiggle up. Is the track surface varying?
Yeah, it's a little bit patchy at the moment. I hit a rut going into the first corner and just lifted a little bit, but yeah, the bike's made a funny noise in the third lap, so fingers crossed, mate, fingers crossed. But yeah, we're happy with the race.
Have you got a bike you can jump straight back onto?
Yeah, sure, we've got the spare bike, but I'm skilled man, skilled engineer, and it's got to work.
Good on you, mate.
Yes, indeed, Craig Boyce in the pits with Jimmy Shone. Boyce, confident and calm as always. Great heat now comes your way, heat number 3. Thank you very much for your company wherever you might be watching. There's the Coney Shock Absorbers entry of the brilliant Californian Greg Hancock on the inside, the reigning world number 3. Beside him, the Czech Thomas Topinka. Then Jason Crump, the Queensland champion, and Mark Lemon on the outside, who won the Newcastle round of this $1 million series. When the tapes flew, Greg Hancock was the best to begin. Much to the delight of the big crowd here, Jason Crump also quickly into stride. He consolidates second, not for long though, because Mark Lemon rockets up on the inside, and this is elbow to elbow stuff as they race off turn number 4. They're that tightly packed, the top 3, you can throw a tally-ho paper over the top of them.
It's Greg Hancock, the leader. The charge of the Light Brigade is behind him. Mark Lemon and Jason Crump. Lemon might have a problem now. He drops off the pace appreciably. That now enables Jason Crump to consolidate second spot. Now he's got his hands full though, because the very talented Czech rider Thomas Topinka starts to wind up the horsepower. Here comes Jason Crump now. That's Thomas Topinka on screen further back in third. Crump is going to make one heck of a race out of this one as the American Greg Hancock works his way out of turn number 4. Yellow flag on display. 1 lap of this circuit to run. What can Jason Crump do? He winds it up now down on the inside. He's getting very close to Greg Hancock. They're separated by inches inside the last couple of corners. It's going to be the American. Oh, they got very close together there, but the American's going to take it, Hancock. Great race. Crump in second. Third of the checkered flag was Topinka. A wonderful speedway race, that one.
Greg Hancock from the USA. Greg, you got away good, but they were right on your tail the whole race.
Oh, they sure were. I made a really good start there, and I just tried to hold the right line. It's a little bit slick out there, so it's difficult to sort of pick what's the fastest place to go, and I could hear him running up my back all the time.
Okay, the track come in a little later in the night, you think?
I think it will. I think it'll start to turn over now and make dirt and probably pick up a few ridges here and there, so it'll get better.
Yes, one of the world's great riders, Greg Hancock, third in the 1996 World Championship. There's another one of the all-time greats, Simon Wigg, 5 times world champion on the factory Jower, starts on the inside. Beside him, Kelvin Tatum, the 1995 world long track champion from Sussex in England. Jon Jorgensen from Denmark and Steve Johnston from Perth, the most improved rider in World Speedway, I kid you not. He's the reigning European grass track champion, and watch him go. Race leader is Simon Wigg when the taste flew. Now straight away, Stephen Johnson starts to charge around the outside, and the West Australian rider Johnston, in his highly entertaining style, rockets by on the outside of Simon Wigg. He went by the Englishman that quickly that Wigg almost caught pneumonia with the breeze. Nonetheless, he's been relegated back to second. His fellow countryman Kelvin Tatum is further back in third, and forget about the rider a long way back in fourth. It's Jon Jorgensen. Well, that's Stephen Johnson from Perth. A great ride there as he charged around the outside of the 5 times world champion. And this is the amazing thing about Steve Johnson. He's only been riding a relatively short period of time, around 4 years, and he's got no respect for reputations. And that man on screen, Simon Wigg, has got one of the world's biggest reputations. It's now Stephen Johnson out of turn 4. He'll greet the yellow with 1 to run. Wigg is second. Let's see how it pans out further back in the pack. It's Kelvin Tatum at the moment, but this is a big ride from Stephen Johnson. He's blown away the 5 times world champion here. Wigg's got no answer to the class or the horsepower of Johnson, and the entertainer from Perth takes it in a beautiful ride. Wigg was second, Kelvin Tatum third. Race time a cracker, 67.37. That's the fastest race time of the night so far, and the crowd love this man from Western Australia. Wherever he's been around this country, he's had them wrapped, and as you can see, no exception here. Here now is a replay of how he did it, defeating Simon Wigg in a great ride.
Steve Johnson from Western Australia, first winner at the Ekka, mate. How are you finding the difference between the Ekka and the wide open spaces of Claremont?
Yeah, good. I like it so far. You know, the night's young. We'll see how we get on. We'll keep plugging away, but it feels really good, you know, for the first time.
Okay, just quickly, what are you doing?
I'm out in the next race, so I'm basically just trying to cool my clutch back down for the start again. The things get so hot, you don't cool them down, by the end of the night, you're going to burn out a clutch. So I'm just trying to get that sorted before we get back out.
Good luck for the rest of the night.
Thank you. I think I need it.
Hope you're enjoying the grand final of the $1 million Series 500 International Speedway Masters. Well, there he is, back on the circuit in heat number 5, Stephen Johnson from Perth. Brent Collier from Brisbane, the wild card, also lines up in this one. Yuri Stansel on the flag international entry, rides out of position number 3. And Jason Crump, the other wild card in this event tonight. He is the reigning Queensland champion. Rides on the outside in the yellow-black helmet colour. Crump, a class rider, lining up against a very good trio here. Who will it be now as the tapes fly? Stephen Johnson on the inside, got a good start, but look at Jason Crump. That was where the dirt was and the drive. Gate number 4, you can see the dirt on the top side of the racetrack, and it's providing the guys that do start in spot number 4 with plenty of drive. And Jason Crump, as has been the case with a couple of riders earlier tonight, has just charged from the outside and left them standing. Steve Johnson's got no answer. Brent Collier, in the meantime, fancies his chances around the outside of Yuri Stansel. You're looking now at Stephen Johnston in second spot from Perth. He's trying very hard, the reigning European grass track champion. Johnson, like so many other Australian riders, based full-time in Europe in the traditional European summer, and he and Jason Crump, Lee Adams, Craig Boyce, those kind of guys. There's Brent Collier, he's had a problem.
He pulls out. Yes, many Australian riders doing as many as 100 race meetings in the 8-month-long European summer as we now watch the field negotiate the main straight at the Brisbane Exhibition Ground. And this one's all Jason Crump. Look at him go, the Queenslander. He's going to put the cleaners through them in this one. We have seen some very big wins here tonight so far, and this has been one of the biggest. Crumpy takes it. Race time 66.51. The times are getting quicker.
Jason, you come out of gate 4. I notice you're riding half-track high. Is that where the grip is?
Yeah, it seems to be moving out pretty wide now, Jim. You know, the racing, with the more races goes on, is going to get higher still. But felt like I had a pretty comfortable run going there, and, you know, hopefully I can make some starts and get out on that good line.
Okay, half-track high opening up the racetrack. A bit more momentum for you?
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, you'll probably still be able to have a go around the inside because it's getting some nice ruts developing on the inside of the corners. And if you can get your back wheel in one of them, you can kind of use it like a motocross berm. So a good rider will still be able to use the inside and, you know, maybe pass a guy who's going high.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Yes, Jason Crump there in the pits with Jim Schoen. We now advance to the next heat on the program. Ideal weather conditions prevailing here in Queensland. There is Craig Boyce on the Skilled Engineering Jower. He starts this one on the outside in the yellow-black helmet colour. Now, Greg Hancock, the Californian, also engaged here, as is Peter Swist. And Kelvin Tatum, the 1995 World Long Track Champion, lines up on the inside, starting out of position number 1. A quality field. You'd go a long way to see better than this. Can Tatum, on the O'Brien aluminium entry on the inside, make amends for a disappointing start to the night? We're set for a start, and away we go. And Kelvin Tatum had a shocker of a start, in fact, as the tapes flew. It was the American Greg Hancock, the reigning world number 3, that's taken the lead. Now the Sydney racer Craig Boyce slams it up on the inside. He came from nowhere, and Boyce has taken the race lead with arrogance. Now Peter Swist splits him in the centre, and he charges up into second on the racetrack. This is a very good speedway race, this one. And Greg Hancock, who won the start, has gone from first back to fourth in half a lap, as he now sees Kelvin Tatum also challenging on the inside. Boyce is the leader off turn number 4. He runs again. In second spot, it's the Polish star Peter Swist, followed further back in third by Kelvin Tatum, who's got his hands full with Greg Hancock, whom you can see skating up very high on the circuit there. That's him on centre screen. Boyce, though, shows them the way home. Out of turn number 4 he runs. He now greets the yellow flag. There's one lap of the exhibition ground to run, and Boyce has really done well in this one with power and precision. He took the race lead early on. He's got loads of time for several looks over the left shoulder. He's treating them with some contempt, I've got to say, in this one, Boyce. He's oozing with confidence, and he takes a fine win. Second spot to the pole, Peter Swist, and third to the checkered flag, Kelvin Tatum. But Craig Boyce doing it perfectly so far.
Craig, 2 heats, 2 wins. Good pass on Greg Hancock on the inside through turn 3. You nailed him that one.
Yeah, I was gunning for him, you know. I'm on a mission tonight, I've got to win, so whenever there's got to be action, it's going to come.
Okay, you saw you riding half-track high. Grip up there for you?
Not as much as I'd like. I wish it was a lot grippier, you know. I've got a lot of horsepower tonight, and I just wish it was a little bit grippier, but that's life.
Okay.
And now the 7th qualifying heat of the $1 million Series 500 International Masters comes your way. Thomas Topinka, there he is on screen. The brilliant Czech rider starts on the inside wearing the red helmet colour. He rides the Torco Oil Split-Fire Spark Plugs entry. Simon Wigg, the 5-times world champ, beside him in the blue helmet colour. Then Shane Parker from Adelaide in the white helmet colour from 3. And over on the extreme outside is the second of the 2 Brits in this race, Andy Smith, the 3-times British champion. And away they go, and the 2 Englishmen are out in front, running side by side, almost a drag race there. Simon Wigg had to take some evasive action. There goes Thomas Topinka now. He runs up on the inside of Wigg. He might bump Wigg back one more spot here, but Wigg's got different ideas, and he sets sail around the outside. Brilliant riding by the 5-times world title holder. Look at the attitude of the motorcycle. It's all over the shop. The back wheel is ducking and diving, but Wigg has now taken a fairly commanding lead. Andy Smith's been relegated back to second after a superb start. A lightning-like start, but he couldn't stay there. And Thomas Topinka, I think his engine's just running a little bit off song tonight. This brilliant Czech rider on the right-hand side of your screen, he's already qualified for 5A finals in the 9 rounds contested so far in this his Australian racing debut. He's been a standout rider, Topinka. in this series. And talking about standout riders, what about this man? He won the grand final of this series at this very venue last year. Simon Wigg, cruising around the circuit now, the winner of more than 500 individual events. He's one of the all-time greats, and you've just seen why. He takes it in a beautiful ride. Second was Andy Smith, third was Thomas Topinka, in a very good performance there by a number of riders. The race time was 67.75. And certainly the crowd really starting to warm to this racing at the exhibition ground. It's getting better as every race goes by. The track's starting to dial in very nicely. Our man Jimmy Schoen is in the pits. There goes Simon Wigg returning to the pits now. He'll be met by his very happy mechanics. Wigg, it's got to be said, has been badly out of form in this series so far. He's yet to win a round, which is quite incredible for a man that's been such a dominant factor in this series. Jimmy Schoen, take it away.
Wiggy, Andy Smith had your measure first lap round, but you did the hard yards in the outside and the loose, and you finally, momentum got you there.
Yeah, you just about said exactly what happened. Yeah, I mean, that's how I saw it. So, you know, there's a bit of dirt next to the fence. Unfortunately, it's very, very wide now. They, you know, maybe they can do a track grade and bring it down a bit so you've got a bit more track to play with. But, you know, you just got to get in that dirt line and hang on, really. But it suits you up on the outside? Yeah, I mean, Andy left me some room, and you know, I just sort of had to go for it, really. There's a lot of grip next to the fence, but like I said, it's a bit very close. You know, you don't want to be doing that all night if you can avoid it.
Okay, all the best.
Right, cheers.
Oh, Simon, what about the haircut? We'll take a break from the Brisbane Exhibition Ground. Stay with us. International Speedway Masters. Huge atmosphere here. Well over 10,000 people crammed into this prestige venue. Now he advanced to heat number 8 on the program, and Lee Adams, who's been undefeated so far tonight, has taken the race lead again on settling down. When the tapes flew, he was a mile in front of them, Lee Adams. He's been gating superbly. Look at the young Sydney racer, Craig Watson. He's trying very hard in second spot, trying to get on equal terms with the 3-times national champion, Lee Adams. Of course, Adams also a former World Under-21 and Commonwealth champion as well. And reminding you, of course, Adams will also represent Australia in the upcoming World Speedway Grand Prix Championship. I'll tell you what, Craig Watson back in second spot is doing a pretty good job. Not only is he trying to keep up with Lee Adams, he's trying to keep out the challenge of the dashing Dane, Jon Jorgensen, who's back in third, and he starts now to come home with a real rush, Jon Jorgensen. There's Watson in second. You can see the front wheel on the right-hand side of your screen. That belongs to Jorgensen. Here comes Lee Adams now out of turn number 4. He greets the yellow. There's one lap of the Brisbane Exhibition Ground to run, and this man is running white hot tonight, Lee Adams. It's between he and Craig Boyce to win this $1 million series, and Lee Adams is making it look fairly easy. It's got to be said at this stage of proceedings. He's got time for a look over the left shoulder and the right shoulder. He takes it. Watson was second. Jon Jorgensen was third in a good race time of 68.31 seconds.
Lee, awesome start. You dropped the clutch, the bike went forward. You just commanded the race from there.
Yeah, the bike's working really well. I was a little bit hesitant about gate 1. I didn't know what to expect from it, but it worked really well, you know, and next ones are going to get tougher, but we'll just keep in there and try and get through the A final, and I'll be happy.
Yes, Lee Adams certainly fairly relaxed about things. He's in with a huge chance tonight of winning the Masters Series. That's the man he's got to beat, Craig Boyce. He lines up in red on the skilled engineering Jower. If you're uninitiated in Speedway terms, when I talk about colours, I'm referring to the helmet colours. Red helmet of Craig Boyce on the inside starts next to Jon Jorgensen, the Dane in blue. We now go racing. Jorgensen's back out there again. He backs up for his second consecutive heat. Look at Thomas Topinka, the Czech rider. He's hanging on to the outside of Craig Boyce like there's no tomorrow. But Boyce, he said, see you later, fellas. He opens up the throttle on this 500cc machine, and away he goes, Boyce, at the end of the first racing lap. He's clearing out again. He really is on fire tonight, Boyce. I don't mean that literally, of course, but he's riding superbly on this bike. Equally, he's just so well balanced on the machine. He handles this circuit very well, and Boyce is once again here asserting his remarkable superiority over this field. Thomas Topinka's back in second. He's got no answer. I'm convinced Topinka's engine is not running on song tonight. We normally see him, that rider there, running up the sharp end of proceedings at the front of the pack. Boyce is the leader. Thomas Topinka is second. Forget about the others at this stage. It's all Craig Boyce, and he's got one lap of the Brisbane Exhibition Ground to run. He's going to win this one easily. He takes the right foot off the peg for some reason. I think he's playing games out there. Such is his attitude towards this race. He's going to win this one very, very easily. Boyce down to the line. He backs off across the line. The Torco Oils entry of Thomas Topinka finished in second. Third was Brent Collier in a time of 67.88.
Craig, another good run. I noticed you're on a maximum. Tell me something. I saw you pinching off turn 4 and working the front straight away, but you weren't doing that out of turn 2. You were flowing the momentum and staying out a little wider on turn 2. Any reason for that?
Yeah, really like the track. The shape of the track doesn't really allow me to do the same on both corners, so that's probably why you see something a little bit different. But we're going right at the moment. The mechanics are doing a good job, and skilled engineering, we're up there.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks.
And we now approach the halfway mark. This is qualifying heat number 10 of 20. That was Simon Wigg on screen. The flag international entry of Yuri Stancil lines up in this one, as does Mark Lemon. He's wearing the red helmet colour. He hails from Mildura, a brilliant winner of the Newcastle round of this series. And on the extreme outside is the Polish sensation, Peter Swiss. He's been marvellous on this series so far, Peter Swiss. Who will it be now as the tapes play? It was, in fact, Peter Swiss. He got an outstanding start, and he leads them down through the first couple of corners, first time round. Mark Lemon's in second spot now. The rider to watch here is Simon Wigg on the extreme outside. He'll start to wind up the horsepower. Here he comes now, Wigg on the Series 500 Jower. He sets sail around the outside. They don't come much braver than him. The winner of 5 World Championships. Now Mark Lemon, who's also plenty brave, he charges and tries to launch an invasion on the territory of our race leader, Peter Swiss. Back up the main straight they run. They thunder up the main straight at the Brisbane Exhibition ground. And this race leader, Peter Swiss, is feeling all sorts of pressure. He knows Mark Lemon is there. Swiss looks on the left-hand side. Mark Lemon's on the right-hand side, though. He runs around the outside of the track as he got the horsepower, Lemon. Good racing here. Back down the main straight. There's one lap to run. Oh, there's a problem there. Simon Wigg has broken down. He'll take no further part in this one, the Englishman. There he is, Wigg on the infield. He will be disgusted. Peter Swiss, the Polish rider's not, though. He's wrapped. A couple of corners left for him to run. He's going to take it, the rider from Poland. In a beaut ride, he had to hold off all challenges. Across the line they run. A very good race time, too, and a terrific race. And Peter Swiss, well, he doesn't speak much English, but Jimmy Shane will catch up with him anyway.
Peter, out of gate 4, very strong start, good race.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, very good start. I changed tire. First 2 hit, I ride to bottom. Now I ride to down a bit better.
Enjoying Exhibition Speedway?
Yeah.
Good boy. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
Nice bloke, Peter Swiss. Very courageous. Involved in one of the most horrific accidents in World Speedway a few years ago in Austria at the Wiener Neustadt circuit. He flew over the fence on the full and landed 5 rows back into the grandstand. He broke everything. They said he'd never race again. Well, you just saw, he's not just racing again, he's doing a great job. Now it's heat number 11, another star-studded field here. Craig Watson on the inside of Jason Crump. Then Andy Smith also involved in this one. Kelvin Tatum, the 1995 world champion. Tatum's broken down on the first corner. Bad luck for the Englishman. That hence enables Andy Smith to take the lead, these fellow Englishmen. And look at Jason Crump, to the delight of this crowd here. The Queensland crowd come alive as Jason Crump runs by on the outside, the hometown hero. The Queensland champ has taken the lead down the back straight. Andy Smith in second spot, followed further back in third by Craig Watson. And it looks as though those two are going to settle down and fight out their own little battle, Smith and Watson. They're going to need to be very sharp, and they're going to need a fair bit of luck too to get back on equal terms with Jason Crump, the former world under-21 champion. He won that title in 1995 in Finland, the same year, by the way, that he won the Australian Senior Championship. A great rider, Crump. He also won the British Speedway Grand Prix last year in 1996. He has 1 lap now of the exhibition ground to run before he claims a very valuable 3 qualifying points here in heat number 11. He's going to take it easily, Crump. It looked like being a good race at the beginning. It didn't work out that way. Tatum broke down. Bad luck for him. Crump has taken it. And the race time there for Jason Crump was 67.81. Crowd have really enjoyed that one. As you can see, this monster crowd, well over 10,000 people at the Brisbane Exhibition Ground, have got what they came to see. Their own man winning that event. Now it's heat 12. Steve Johnson from Perth rides on the inside in red. Lee Adams for Series 500 on the Jow rides in blue from 2. Greg Hancock for Coney Shock Absorbers. He's the American, rides in white from 3. And Shane Parker from South Australia will ride in yellow from the extreme outside, position number 4. This will be a beauty. We're set for a start. Can Stephen Johnson reproduce that brilliant form we saw from him at the top of the night? Now it's Greg Hancock, the reigning world number 3 from California. He takes the Coney Shock Absorbers entry straight to the race lead. Lee Adams is going to do it the hard way. That was Shane Parker on the infield. He's broken down, the former multiple South Australian champion. Bad luck for him.
We've got a ripper race in our hands here though, because Greg Hancock, the leader, is under increasing pressure now from Lee Adams. Up on the inside runs the Australian. The crowd goes up again. The Aussie boy has taken the ascendancy. He relegates the American back to second. Not for long though, one has the feeling, as Hancock storms straight back up on the inside, and these two run almost side by side. On the back straight now, Lee Adams can't afford to relax for a moment. The American is a world-class rider. He runs in second spot. They're separated by, I guess, something like a metre or two. Back down the main straight, there's now one lap to run. Who will it be here as these two world-class stars do it in sensational style? Adams is the leader. Greg Hancock now up on the inside, and the American may have pinched this right on the line. Adams now runs back as well. They're side by side as the checkered flag comes out. It's Hancock, the American. What a wonderful race. Hancock wins it right on the line. 3 points to him. Adams finished in second, and third of the checkered flag there was Stephen Johnson. What a super race. We'll take a look at the replay for you now. Now this is inside the last lap. Adams had a fairly comfortable lead. Greg Hancock was behind him by a couple of metres there. Now Adams here runs high. Watching it, you think that's good tactics. He's got dirt up there to get some drive. Hancock said, "Thank you very much, Lee. I'm up on the inside of you." Now Adams switches lines here very cunningly, but unfortunately for him, Hancock had the best racing line out of turn 4. Gee, they got close there, didn't they? Great stuff.
Hey, Greg, that was a big ride. First of all, you had Lee. He got you back. Last turn, you just smoked him once again.
Well, I made a really good start there and got ahead of him, and the mistake that I made, the lap where he passed me, he made exactly the same mistake the next lap, and I got him back, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Okay, you happy with the way the bike's working for you here at the Ekka?
I'm pretty happy with it. We had a few troubles right early on, and just a broken pipe and a couple of some bolts that had come out, but it's all fixed up now, and looking for that A final.
We'll take a break on Sports Australia. Stay with us, whatever you do.
Repeated prime time at 8, only on Sport AFL.
The best live action right here on Sports Australia.
Welcome back to the Brisbane Exhibition Ground, and welcome back to the Series 500 International Speedway Masters Grand Finale. The 10th and final round of an event that commenced in Western Australia on the 3rd of January. Great field lined up here. Peter Swiss from Poland, Steve Johnson beside him, Craig Watson and Thomas Topinka from the Czech Republic. And once again, the Polish rider, Peter Swiss, his form certainly improving here tonight. He's taken the race lead. That's Stephen Johnson storming up now on the inside of Thomas Topinka. Topinka's having none of it though. He fights back on the inside, and this trio run very close together off the top corner and run back down the main straight of the exhibition ground. Topinka now might have the upper hand on Stephen Johnson, but neither of them can get close to our race leader. Of course, I refer to that man on screen, Peter Swiss. He's the leader back down the main straight, and he's a fairly comfortable one too. I reckon he's got a gap of about 10 metres on them. In second spot, Topinka. Stephen Johnson is third, trying very hard, and a long way further back and forth is Craig Watson. Now we see Johnson move up with a real rush on Thomas Topinka. He's a never-say-die rider, Stephen Johnson, and he'll keep trying right down to the checkered flag. Speaking of flag, the yellow one's on display. There's one lap of this circuit to run, the exhibition ground in Brisbane, and it's all Peter Swiss the pole. He's doing it in dashing style here tonight. He runs off the top corner for the final time, and he's going to take a very easy win, Peter Swiss. Second of the checker is Thomas Topinka. Third, Steve Johnson. Race time 66.75 seconds. Good ride by the pole. Now moving along to heat number 15 on the program. Jon Jorgensen from Denmark will ride the Boral Energy entry in the red helmet colour from position number 1. Andy Smith from Great Britain rides in position number 2 aboard the SPAC suspension entry. That's Yuri Stancil from the Czech Republic you're watching. And Greg Hancock also involved here on the Coney shock absorbers bike. And of course Hancock hails from California. You saw him beat Lee Adams in a cliffhanger earlier tonight. We're set for a start. Who will it be? Away they go. The Danish rider Jon Jorgensen, the former gold medal FIM winner in World Team Cup competition, has taken the race lead. Now what can Greg Hancock do? We know he's a fighter. Who will ever forget that race against Lee Adams? It's Jorgensen down the main straight the first time round, doing a nice job in front. Hancock is second, Yuri Stancil is third, and a long way back in fourth is Andy Smith. There he is now, Andy Smith. He really is off the pace in this one by his very high standards. Jorgensen skates across the top of the surface. Racetrack starting to dial in very nicely. There's plenty of dirt up high on the circuit. which will provide these riders with maximum drive and plenty of outside passing opportunities. Talking about that, Greg Hancock's going to have a crack at it now. There he is in the centre of your screen, the American reigning world number 3. He drifts up noticeably higher towards the wall in his attempt to catch up for lost time on Jon Jorgensen, the Danish rider who leads them home. There's about half a lap now left to run at this circuit in Brisbane. Hancock trying very hard in second spot, but I don't think he's going to do it. It's been a super ride by Jorgensen, the leader. Hancock trying hard right down to the checkered flag, but Jorgensen takes it. Hancock was second. Race time there, 67.44 seconds, and Jimmy Schoen is now with the Dashing Dane.
John, congratulations on your heat win. You look to have good speed, and you were carrying good speed off the corner.
Yeah, it was a little bit better. I've been really struggling today. I've had a lot of bike problems, but no excuse, you know. Made a better start, you know, and made the most of it.
You enjoying your series with Series 500 car care products?
It's been very good, you know. Been extremely happy with it. It's very hard, you know, for some of us European, you know, to sort of get the bikes prepared proper, and today was probably one of the things, you know, hadn't been working enough on it.
Great to see you having a heat win.
Thanks very much.
Now heat 16 is next, and what a wonderful race here. Jason Crump, the Queensland champ, rides on the inside in red. Craig Boyce, the defending Masters Series champion and reigning Australian champion. There he is on the Skilled Engineering Jawa. He rides in blue from 2. Lee Adams on the Series 500 Car Care Jawa rides in white from 3. And the 5-times world champion Simon Wigg on the extreme outside. This race could mean the psychological difference between either Boyce or Adams. They're shooting it out for the championship, the Masters Series, in this heat number 16. It will be a very important race for both of them. 3 valuable qualifying points up for grabs, and Craig Boyce has taken the race lead. Lee Adams is last. The Mildura rider Lee Adams is tailed off at the back of the pack, and he's got a mountain of work to do in this one if he hopes to get anywhere near Craig Boyce. I can't see it happening. Adams charges up on the inside of Simon Wigg, but it's to no avail. You can see the lead that Craig Boyce has got. Oh, the Sydney side, the defending series champion, wants this one badly. He wants to let Lee Adams know that when they meet in the A final later tonight, he's got the edge on this occasion. It's Boyce the leader. Out of turn 4 he runs. In second spot on the circuit is Jason Crump, the Queensland champion. He can't do anything about the gap that Craig Boyce has been able to open up here. He thunders down the back straight of the Brisbane Exhibition ground. He's a clear-cut race leader, Craig Boyce, and riding the wheels off the machine. Out of turn 4 he runs for the final time, and Craig Boyce is going to take it in a wonderful ride. Second to the line was Crump, third was Lee Adams. In a wonderful race, a great ride by Craig Boyce.
Good heat win for you, Craig, after the track preparation.
Yeah, the track was really good then. There was a nice bit of dirt on it, so that's what I said earlier. I got a bit of extra horsepower, so the bike's going really good, and I made the start, so 2 more to go.
That's right, but you're going into the final on a maximum.
Yeah, that's right, you know, so Skilled Engineering machine's doing well, and fingers crossed the mechanics keep on the case, we can win.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Yes, Craig Boyce knows exactly what he has to do. There's some of the smaller fans here at the Brisbane Exhibition Ground having a good time. Next heat is number 17. Yeah, Craig Boyce knows what he's got to do. He's got to beat Lee Adams every time they meet, including the A final, which they will certainly both qualify for. Here we go, set for a start in heat 17. We're getting through the qualifying heats, just a few remaining on the other side of this one, and the Californian star on the Coney shock absorbers entry, Greg Hancock, has taken the race lead. That's the young Sydney sider, Craig Watson. He's working the American over, and Brent Collier and Simon Wigg having a wow of a battle further back in the pack. It's the battle for 3rd and 4th, if you like. The leader, though, Greg Hancock, is now starting to career away, or is he? Maybe this man, Craig Watson's got other ideas. He decides to keep down fairly low on the circuit in quest of victory as he chases the American. The champion from California, Greg Hancock, blasts up the main straight. A couple of laps remaining in this one, and the American doing a nice job. He's got the Coney shock absorbers motorcycle working beautifully. So too is Craig Watson. He's riding for Torco Oils and doing a wonderful job. He's in second spot and trying extremely hard. Yellow flag on display. You can see that graphically. There's 1 lap of this venue now to run, and Hancock might bag another 3 points here, and they're valuable points. He needs to finish in the A final, Hancock. If he does, and if he can finish in front of Craig Boyce, he'll run second in this series outright. Hancock takes it. Craig Watson was second across the line. Third was Simon Wigg in a race time of 67.68 seconds. Great ride by the reigning world number 3. Congratulations, though, to Craig Watson.
The young Sydney rider that kept trying right down to the checkered flag. There's Hancock back in the pits here. They're high-fiving one another. These Americans love that stuff. And our man Jimmy Schoen will now catch up with the Californian.
Greg, that was another strong run.
That's it. I had another a tough ride there. I know Simon was going to be climbing all over me, and as it turned out, it was the younger rider, Craig Watson. And I just tried to keep my head down and go for those 3 points.
Now the pressure's building on you because you can leapfrog your way up into second place here.
That's right. I think Craig Boyce is on quite a run at the moment, so I needed him to drop some severe points, and I don't know if that's going to happen.
Okay, have a good run.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, Jimmy Schoen with Greg Hancock in the pits. He's a happy-go-lucky American, Greg Hancock. Wonderful rider, the reigning world number 3. This is heat number 18 of qualifying. Jason Crump, Peter Swiss, Shane Parker and Jon Jorgensen. Another quality quartet. Trust you're enjoying the action wherever you might be watching. Tapes now fly in heat number 18. Who will it be as they charge now towards the first corner? It's the Danish rider, Jon Jorgensen, who's really found some form here tonight. Jorgensen doing a good job. Listen to the crowd roaring in the background. That's because their man, the local Queensland superstar, Jason Crump's in second spot. He might have a problem now because Peter Swiss, the Polish rider, is moving up on the inside of him, trying to pinch second spot away from Jason Crump. Well, the Danish rider, Jon Jorgensen, he's got the head over the top of the handlebars, riding as fast as he can. He knows that Jason Crump is there, and this rider in second spot, Crump, has got the weight of something like 10,500 spectators on his shoulders on the bike with him here. Jorgensen, the leader, he looks over the left shoulder. He can see that man, Jason Crump, and Crump is absolutely flying on this circuit, trying to make up now the ground that separates he from the race leader, Jorgensen. Jorgensen's got a tendency to keep looking over the left shoulder, hasn't he? He's very concerned about Jason Crump. Just put your head down, John, and get on with it. Down the back straightaway. The Dane's got a couple of corners now to run. He got just a little out of shape on the entry to that corner. Over the left shoulder he looks again. Well, fair dinkum, he gave Crump enough chances to catch him, but he couldn't do it there. Good ride by Jon Jorgensen. He really has found some form. A terrific performance there to hold out Jason Crump.
John, that was a strong run coming up to the final.
Yeah, I've been pleased, you know, like after a bad start, now 2 wins, you know, just make it a little bit more fun.
Are you going to change the bike much for the finals?
No, I think I just put a new tyre on and it should be ready.
Okay, all the best.
Cheers, everyone.
Well, the atmosphere here at the Brisbane Exhibition Ground is really starting to build. This is the penultimate qualifying heat before riders advance to their respective finals. The bottom 4 qualifiers go to the D final, the next 4 to the C, then the next 4 to the B, and of course the top 4 qualifiers go to the A final. That's where the big points are, and that's where this championship will be decided. The last race of the last series round for 1997. That's the brilliant British rider Andy Smith on the inside. We're set for a start now. This is heat number 19, and away they go, and the triple British champion Andy Smith has taken the race lead. Good start by him, not for long though. A better one by Stephen Johnson from Perth. He runs up on the inside, the entertainer, and Johnson has taken the lead. Now what can Craig Boyce do? He got away to an indifferent start by his normally high gating standards. He finds himself back in second with a whole bunch of work to do. And this man out in front, Stephen Johnson's not going to be easy to catch. There's Boyce. He's riding the wheels off the skilled engineering Jower as he tries to get back on equal terms with that man, Stephen Johnson. Main straight they run. Oh, Johnson got just a touch out of shape there. He found his 500cc bike drifting towards the wall. He did a nice job to save it, and he certainly didn't slow down, did he, Johnson? In fact, he just went faster. Out of turn 4 he runs. Boyce still in second spot. And that's the way they're going to finish in this one, I feel. Yellow flag on display. Andy Smith a mile back in third. He's had a disappointing night tonight. The triple British champion. He was ultra competitive in this event last year. It's Johnson now. Beautiful close-up shot of the West Australian at work on his Jower motorcycle. He takes it, Stephen Johnson. Boyce didn't give up, but Johnson got there. Johnson got there, defeating Craig Boyce in second. Andy Smith was third.
Good run for you, Steve, like that.
Yeah, it was nice. I started off well with a win and then seized me best bike in my second ride, so it was good to finally get the other one sorted out and come back with another win. I think it stuffed my chances for the night, basically. I'm not going to make the A final, but make the most of what I've got.
I got to tell you, I just love your riding style. You're always working the rear end and the back wheel of the bike.
Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing some of the times, but it works sometimes, so people like it. You know, you hang off it a bit and keep it flat out. It's pretty good.
Okay, all the best for the rest of the night.
Thank you.
Yeah, Johnson a good ride there, and despite the fact that Craig Boyce finished second to Stephen Johnson on that occasion,
Boyce will qualify for the A final tonight as the top point scorer. It's up to Lee Adams in this one to qualify as second top man. Set for a start, Stansel, Tatum, Thomas Topinka. Oh, he left the start badly, the Czech Republic rider. Now Lee Adams also got away fairly slowly. Tatum's the race leader, and here they come, the handlebar heroes. The Aussie's taken the lead though. He swept by around the outside, much to the delight of this huge crowd at the Brisbane Exhibition Ground. And Lee Adams, who's ridden superbly here tonight, faultless display, has found himself back in the race lead. He's certainly going to qualify for the A final if he stays there. Kelvin Tatum currently runs second on the circuit. He's had a horror night here tonight, the 1995 world champion, who's been absolutely brilliant in this series so far. He won the opening 2 rounds at Perth and also Bunbury in Western Australia, but since then he's had an up and down series. Tonight he's been struck down with mechanical problems. That's Yuri Stansel, a good close-up shot of him at work. Lee Adams having no such trouble tonight. Yellow flag out for him. 1 lap of this circuit to run in front of a capacity crowd at the exhibition ground in Brisbane. Lee Adams got loads of time. He takes a look over the left shoulder and he sees that Kelvin Tatum's still in second. That's going to be it. Lee Adams will get through to the A final in second spot. As second top qualifier, he defeats Kelvin Tatum. And third of the line there in a strong ride was Thomas Topinka. And that puts Lee Adams through. It's a match made in heaven. He will do battle with Craig Boyce for the Masters Series Championship of 1997. So now we advance to the finals. Unfortunately, time does not allow us to bring you the D and C final on this telecast. I can tell you the C final was won by Simon Wigg from Thomas Topinka and Andy Smith. The D final was won by Shane Parker from Craig Watson and Brent Collier. Now it's the B final for the riders that qualified in positions 5, 6, 7 and 8. We've got Stephen Johnson, that's Peter Swist on the inside the pole, then Johnson, then Kelvin Tatum, as we now get set for a start. And on the extreme outside is Jon Jorgensen, the Dane. The tapes flew. Now this is a 5-lap journey as opposed to the 4-lap journeys we saw in the qualifying heats, and Jon Jorgensen has taken the race lead. Now Kelvin Tatum's going to try and attempt to pass on the high line here. Racetrack in pretty good condition. There's enough drive up high on the circuit to enable an outside slingshot to he who is brave enough. Jorgensen across the line at the end of the first racing lap. There's 4 to run in the B final. Now there's still plenty of interest in who will finish 4th, 5th and 6th in this series. It's wide open. Jorgensen doing his best at the moment. I think Kelvin Tatum, if he stays in second spot, yes indeed, I'm sure he'll finish in 4th place in the series overall. Peter Swist, after a very good night tonight, is having a disappointing B final. He's further back in 3rd. Kelvin Tatum's a bit concerned about him. As you can see, he's spending plenty of time looking over the left shoulder. The riders now race back onto the main straight here aboard their 500cc bikes with no brakes. A couple of laps still remaining. That's Peter Swist, the Polish rider. He's further back in 3rd. Now Tatum gives it a fistful. The English rider from Sussex. He's in second spot looking for the race lead inside the last racing lap. Jorgensen's in control for the time being. Yellow flag will now go out. There's 1 lap of this circuit to run, and this is the farewell in this series for these riders in 1997. They all want to go out on the strongest possible note. Jorgensen's going to do it, I feel. Tatum's trying very hard out of turn number 4, but the Danish rider Jorgensen's going to get there. Tatum snaps to the outside, but the post was too close. Jorgensen got there in a thrilling race. Tatum was second, and 3rd to the line in the B final was Peter Swist in a race time of 84.56. Well, buckle up your seatbelts. We now approach the biggest race in Australian Speedway in 1997. This is the A final for the top 4 qualifiers in this, the grand final of the $1 million Series 500 International Masters. Tradition in this tournament, the top 4 walk to the starting line. Lee Adams, closest to the camera, second top point scorer behind Craig Boyce. That's Greg Hancock, who rides the Coney shock absorbers entry. You can hear the crowd here at the exhibition ground. The atmosphere here right now rivals any sporting event that I've been to in this country. It all comes down to this: Lee Adams and Craig Boyce. It's between those two. They're separated by 8 points at the top of the point score. Now there's 40 points up for grabs here to the winner. 30 for second, 20 for third, and 15 for 4th. The equation is that Lee Adams must finish in front of Craig Boyce. If Adams wins and Boyce finishes 3rd, Greg Hancock finishes 2nd in this race. Hancock will leapfrog Boyce and finish 2nd in the series. Nerves, 4 world-class riders. The atmosphere builds here. They're all world-class stars. Boyce, world number 3 in 1994. He's ridden in world finals. He knows how to handle the pressure. Hancock, third in the world. Adams has been there too. So has Krupp. We go racing in this 5-lap A final, the grand final of the $1 Million Series. And Boyce took the race lead. Not for long though. Lee Adams has swept by around the outside, and the Victorian might win the championship as early as that move. It's a decisive move. A paralysing burst of speed sees Lee Adams go to the front. Craig Boyce in second. The American rider Greg Hancock's in third, and Jason Krupp can't keep up at the moment. Yes, he can, Kruppy. The Queensland champ set sail around the outside. Look at Lee Adams, a huge break now on the Series 500 tower. He's going to be impossible to stop from there. This world-class rider, the former 3 times Australian champion, heads down the back straight. Jason Krupp now starts to come up with a rush. Craig Boyce is still in second. If he stays there, he'll finish as runner-up in the series. Lee Adams now back down the main straight, he runs. Hancock in the meantime has gone past Boyce, and so too has Jason Krupp. The battle further back in the pack is an absolute ripper. Boyce has got mechanical problems, you can be rest assured. The Australian champion Boyce is going to pull out of this one. Lee Adams in the meantime is going to win it, and he's going to win the $1 Million Masters Series. Now Jason Krupp has snuck up in the second spot. That means that Craig Boyce will still finish second in the series, and Greg Hancock will finish third. Jason Krupp has done Craig Boyce a huge favour, but Lee Adams takes it. He's the champion. The crowd goes up. He's the Masters champion for 1997. Second to the line, Jason Krupp. Third, Greg Hancock. Well, what a night. It's had everything. The crowd's gone up here, all 10,500 of them. There's Lee Adams on the left-hand side of your screen. He takes the Australian flag. He's won 5 of the 10 rounds contested in this series in 1997. And there is a shattered Craig Boyce who failed to complete the 5-lap journey, but he still finished second. He knows how Lee Adams feels. This time last year, it was Craig Boyce's moment. The outgoing champion, you can hold your head high. And so too can this man, Lee Adams. A faultless performance. What more can you do than win 50% of the 10 rounds contested in this series? He's done it. And tradition in World Speedway, up he goes. And Lee Adams, you are a champion, and you are certainly a very worthy winner of Australia's biggest international speedway event. Let's take a look at the point score at the end of the 10 rounds.
And in a thrilling International Speedway Masters Series, Lee Adams wraps it up on 184 points. Then Craig Boyce on 161. Greg Hancock, the American, third, 132. Followed by Kelvin Tatum, Simon Wigg, Thomas DePincker, Steve Johnston, Mark Lemon, Andy Smith. Then Peter Swiss, Jon Jorgensen, Shane Parker and Craig Watson.
Well, a wonderful grand final, and in fact a fantastic series in 1997. Hope you've enjoyed all the action right here on Sports Australia. With me, the top 3 riders, starting with Greg Hancock, third. A terrific performance, very consistent.
You know, I was happy with my the way I finished with this result. It was looking a little bit grim in the beginning, but things really pulled together at the end, and I guess the main thing right now is just being third and a place on the podium.
We've enjoyed watching you ride, Greg. Congratulations. Second in the Masters Series, the man that you saw win it last year, Craig Boyce, who I should imagine is a bit disappointed.
Yeah, very disappointed, Dave. You know, can't take nothing away from Lee. He's been the best rider, I think, on the series. He really deserved to win it, but I thought I could have clinched it in that last race, and the engine seized on the second lap, and I was struggling. So no, I've had an enjoyable series. It's been great. You know, thanks very much to Skilled Engineering. They've been behind me all the way, and all the other associate sponsors. Thanks very much.
Craig Boyce, a great rider, now the winner of the Masters Series, and he is really happy. Lee Adams, mate, congratulations. Couldn't think of a more worthy champion.
No, it's been great, Dave. I loved every minute of it. Everything's been going fine. I had a bit of an iffy one in Mildura, which was my home track, but it all came together tonight, and I'm just very, very happy. I've got to thank everybody, for pitching in, all the guys that did my bikes and everything. They just went fantastic.
Well done, Lee, the winner of the Masters Series, sponsored by Series 500 in 1997. Hope you've enjoyed all the action. Appreciate your company. That now takes us out from the Brisbane Exhibition Ground. Good night.
This has been a Sports Australia production.